Hi everyone, welcome back to Qigong of Tulsa. Hope you're ready for some real simple but very, very important points that we're going to make today regarding your warming up before you do any exercises, no matter which exercise or activity that you're going to do. It's very important that you're at least warmed up and ready to go. Muscles and tendons respond differently. Tendons have a job, ligaments have a different job. And it's important that these ligaments and the tendons be warm. They respond to warmth. The only way that a ligament operates is through warmth, and of course that's the only way you can really heal a tendon and a ligament is through heat. So it's very important in regards and directly affecting your tendons and your ligaments that you warm up before you stretch. Another thing to take in consideration is the fact that further on down the line, if you don't warm up and stay essentially warm during the day when you're active, you have a tendency to create a situation that down further, say years down the line, you may end up with arthritis and in those joints and in those areas. So that's something to keep in mind too. So again, really all in a nutshell, this isn't going to be a really complicated little video that we're going to do today, but it's very essential in terms of how you physically respond as you get older and slower, if you will. So here we go. Very simply, just start by rotating your head. Lean forward, go to your left and rotate, making sure that you don't lean your head back too far. Just enough to where you squeeze the discs in your spine a little bit. And do this, rotate at least 12 times, preferably until you feel your neck area getting warm. And once you do that, then of course you rotate and go in the opposite direction. And again, you're warming up, so speed is definitely not what we want here. We will always go and endeavor in Qigong for quality over quantity. Quantity means nothing if you're doing it wrong. So if you want to close your eyes while you're warming up and concentrate on that area, that's very helpful. Very helpful. Extremely helpful, as a matter of fact. Okay, so we're finished doing that. What we do is raise our shoulders straight up. We do that. Again, I'm just going to say 12 times. Everything that we do it 12 times. Raise up, lower our shoulders. And then we'll rotate the shoulders forward. And we're including our chest so that we involve the front of the lungs, and we take advantage of that by massaging the front of the lungs if we exaggerate, and then we exaggerate in the back, and we massage the back of the lungs while we're warming up. And you do this, and again, switch and do that, and of course the process of massaging your lungs is in reverse now. Very simple. But it's how you focus is where you get your benefit. So now we'll go from the shoulders over to the arms. Rotate your arms like this. You're doing a different, or having a different impact on your shoulders, and do this. You don't have to rotate your torso like I'm doing, but just focus on the shoulders itself. And of course, there's no doing the reverse of this. So you just do that 12 times. And now you can lower your arms and just do your elbows. We do our elbows this way, and then we'll do our elbows this way. Always keep in mind that when you're warming up, wherever necessary, you warm up in one direction, and then you warm up, obviously, in the opposite direction, or you rotate. Your wrists, same thing. Exaggerate the movement of your wrists. If you don't feel it, then you're not rotating enough or including the movement of your hands into that rotation. Of course, then when you finish that, you go in the opposite direction. And of course, 12 times in everything that we're doing today. All right, and last to that, we do our hands, our fingers rather, and all of them. Be sure you include all the joints in your fingers. Okay, now we're going to jump in and work on the torso. The one you've seen a lot is doing this, and that's what we do. Rotate, keep our feet facing forward. Do not rotate your feet as you turn. It's very important, because you want to put the pressure on your upper back, or your spine rather. We'll get there. You can raise your arms up, and that gives you a little more twist. Always begin gently, depending on where you are physically, and don't overdo it. And you kind of get the idea on this. All right, now we'll go to the waist. Now this one is a real important one. You need to rotate the waist and move the waist as best you can. But you want to make sure your feet are wide enough apart that you are actually rotating about your joint. Super duper important. You've got to rotate and affect that joint. We sometimes will put our thumb right there. And if you're a side sleeper, it's going to be sensitive. Okay, you do that 12 times at least, and go the other way. Now, on this rotation of the waist area, if you are suffering from issues where your reproductive organs have been affected in some way or not, do this 200 times. 250 times, it doesn't matter. You can do this until you feel that area of your body getting warm. That's very important from the medical Qigong perspective. Okay, so now we've done both directions, okay? And now we'll go to the knees, and the same thing. Minimum 12, 15 times, doesn't matter. Rotate in one direction and rotate them in another direction. All right. Again, when you finish that, now we'll go to the ankles. Raise your foot up on the balls of your feet. Make sure that the balls of your feet are directly under your body. And that seems to give more activity to the ankles. But rotate your ankles in one direction, and by now you know how many times, and rotate them in the other direction. And switch feet. Remember, quality trumps quantity. We do not care about how many times. We want you to really rotate your ankle, make that ankle move. You know, this is an issue that if you're suffering from diabetes and complications such as that, it's very important that you keep your ankles loose. Okay, now go to the balls of your feet and just raise up and down, forward, whoops. Better pay attention to what I'm doing here. And rock back and forth. And of course, if you need an extra rotation or something. Now, what's important is you can always grip. Use your toes to kind of grip the carpet and that'll help the joints in your toes. So these are very simple, and our next video we might go into some simple stretching. But please take our word for it. It's important that you warm your joints before you stretch, and that'll negate some possible future complications for you. And that's it for today. Thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.